Okay, spoilers.
Okay, spoilers.
So,
spoilers.
Okay.
So what are we going to talk about? Okay, do you want to analyze the characters first, or do you want to analyze the story?
So, I guess first I want to talk about, I don't know. So, I want to say, it's interesting because Corrin, this really reminds me of Fate Stay Night, if you ever heard of that.
Heard of it? I've never gotten into it. I mean, I want to watch it, but I never got
it was actually a visual novel first before it was an anime. We never got it here, though. But, yeah, so essentially it was another game that had, like, a branching story based off and then the character also radically, like, changed in some of his values depending on the route and stuff. And that's kind of a thing that happens a little bit in this one.
Because Corrin in Conquest is a different character than Corrin in Birthright.
And that actually is some of my pivotal problems with Conquest, but we'll get into that a little bit. So, one thing I do want to discuss, though, when it comes to these games, I mean, I dodge around a lot, partly because I didn't have to deal with that crap. Buying them separately.
Yeah, you bought the special edition. I ended up...
Yeah.
I bought Conquest first. Then I spent $20 downloading it, and then I had to wait, I think, a week after I beat Conquest in order to play Revelations.
Well, to be fair, I was too busy beating the other ones to be able to even play Revelations.
Yeah, because, well, you played on Classic.
Yeah.
Like, I had to wait a week to play Revelations, so...
Yeah. Overall, though, I mean, like, I find the whole splitting paths thing interesting. I do find it... I also realize there's going to be inherently problems with it when you do a plot like that.
Yeah.
Because, again, especially when it's like, when you have stuff like choosing Nor, with the way the opening chapter's set up, you, no matter what, are kind of a jerk for choosing Nor.
Yeah. No, I mean, alright, the way the, the way the beginning is set up, like, you play the first 6 chapters and then you choose... Like, from, like, a normal, like, moral standpoint, like, you're playing, like, all the other games you've played where it's like, oh, these are the heroes, you should join them, they're doing the good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, from that standpoint, like, logically, if there were no choices in this game, the story that would make the most sense from a, logical perspective would be for the main character to join,
I would actually argue the third route would make the most sense.
Well, yeah.
Because you don't want to fight your family.
I'm saying of the original two that they really...
Yeah.
It's like, okay, one of the problems with this game is its release format, because, honestly, you have to pay, like, $40 for one of the paths, then you have to pay an extra $20 to get the other paths, the other path, and for each of the other paths.
Yeah. I would have preferred...
a lot of the problems could have been solved if they just released Birthright and Conquest as one game for $60.
Yeah. And
then a released Revelations later.
Yeah. Or just just in general, like, overall costing $80. Yeah, that would be, like, because, you know, I have to buy Revelations, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, I would be perfectly fine with that. I mean, but I heard that was their original plan, but they thought people would not be willing to buy a 3DS game for, like...
$60.
So that I guess that was the whole reason they did this, and it ends up costing around that much
yeah,
anyway.
people would rather pay $40 for a game and buy DLC than pay $60 for a game.
And it ends up costing about that much anyway. And, I mean, from that standpoint, I mean, it's just more tedious than it is an issue to some extent. But then, again... So if you view these games as separate games and as their games alone, they are among the weaker games in the series if you just look at them as individual pieces. Which is, again, something the part of me I feel like kind of should in some ways and should not in some ways. It's a difficult position I'm kind of in here.
Yeah. I mean, you have context for the other games. I've only played Awakening before this.
I mean, it's not to say every Fire Emblem game... has been perfect. Like, for example, I'm currently playing through Sacred Stones right now, on my YouTube, and that game's gameplay is fine. The plot of it bores me to tears right now.
It's like, how bad is it?
It's just dull.
Is it generic?
It's a little bit generic. it's just like another Fire Emblem game. I mean, they made it while they were making Path of Radiance, so it's clear not all of their effort was put into Sacred Stones' plot.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it for some of its gameplay ideas. Again, it introduced a lot of stuff that Awakening brought back, like world maps and grinding and stuff. I mean, it didn't introduce that. That was actually introduced in Fire Emblem 2, but we don't talk about Fire Emblem 2.
Was it bad? Is it like Devil May Cry?
It's like NES, and it has a ton of ideas that were not implemented the best.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also only Japan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the thing. When it comes to
you gonna start with characters now, or?
Yeah, I guess we could. So I guess we might as well categorize Corrin as 3 different characters at this point.
Okay. So who do you want to talk about first? Because I want to talk about Azura first.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So alright, in high school I watched a lot of anime. So I'm familiar with like certain tropes and stuff. I don't watch a lot of anime now, but there's this one trope that's in like a few anime where it's like this, there's this mysterious girl who's quiet and she doesn't say much.
Yeah.
Like Azura was literally that trope in the beginning, and I kind of feel like she didn't grow out of it. Like she didn't develop as a character.
At least in the first 2 routes, yeah.
No, even in
the third route, she was a bit still, but it was...
even in Revelations, even though you learn more about her and learn more about her backstory, she still seemed like she didn't seem like okay. Most of the other characters seem like 3-dimensional characters. I mean, she wasn't necessarily 1-dimensional, but she was still 2-dimensional.
I agree.
Get what I'm saying.
I agree a bit.
She didn't have a lot of depth to her.
Yeah. She actually reminded me of I barely watched the show.
I remember. I have a good example. I'm not sure if anyone's seen that anime. I watched the first season of an anime called Guilty Crown.
That was the first thing I only watched the first episode of it, and that was immediately what popped in my mind was that one chick.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, I only watched the first season. I haven't watched the second season yet. I should probably go back and watch it because it was still a pretty good anime despite its flaws.
I heard the ending crashed and burned.
It did it?
I did hear the ending crashed and burned. Like it went from bad to...
I don't know. I kind of spoiled myself for it. Okay, but yeah, there was this one character who he knows about. It was like this pink-haired chick. Like, okay, so these types of characters, I feel, they only work if they're secretly not that type of character.
Yeah.
Like,
I found Azura relatively harmless personally.
Okay, but... so the thing you don't know about that anime is like the literal thing is that quiet girl is actually super fucking crazy. Or she's at least possessed by the main characters. The spoilers for Guilty Crown if you want to watch it. She's possessed by the main character's dead sister who came back through like this weird super virus. And she's fucking insane. So, yeah, it's anime. Don't question it. It makes absolutely no sense. That's probably why they said the ending crashed and burned. But the thing is, it's like, despite whether or not what happened in the ending with that, it still added depth to the character. Because it was more than just, I'm the quiet, mysterious girl, and that's it.
I guess.
That's like literally my entire character. Because I didn't feel like Azura developed at all. She basically, like, for all 3 games, just like kind of agreed to everything Corrin did. And...
Yeah. I will say, she was interesting in my bedroom moments. Anyway. I know I'm not.
Did you see that Vine where it's like I forget the guy's name. He's like playing Fire Emblem Fates, and it's like he's at that one scene where it's like blow on the. No, he's sitting there, so he's like, wait, blow on. Who wrote this? An alien? Like, who the hell does that?
Gosh, yeah, no. Azura, though, I mean, I didn't mind her that much. I'll be honest, she at least was in a much better plot. I don't know, there's something about Guilty Crown that, like, the very first episode made me angry on a subliminal level.
Why did it make you angry?
I don't know, I couldn't pinpoint it for you. One, it reminded me a lot of Code Geass a little too much.
I haven't watched that.
It's a very good show.
I know it is. I haven't watched it. I should watch it.
And it also just, there were, like, a lot of things that it just was refusing to explain to me that really needed to be explained to me. And it was,
I think they waited till the second season for that.
Which, anyway. So, back on topic. At least this plot was competent enough that I felt, I mean, she was used enough that, like, I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
She was important to the plot, and they actually did explain why she was like that. You know, like, because she, it's a spoiler section, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Just because she was from Vala or whatever.
Yeah, from Vala.
Because she can't talk about almost
90%. Because there's a curse that basically says that...
because she can't talk about 90%
if you're outside of the
past.
Kingdom of Vala, you'll disappear if you talk about it.
Yeah, so she
which
can't...
I think applies to the song, too.
Maybe. That's what I was thinking for a while, but they never actually explained that, did they?
Yeah, because the ending of Birthright makes it seem like the song has the effect that's later explained that Vala has, where if they mention it, they
That's
disappear.
what I was thinking they were going to explain, but they didn't really?
After you realize Vala is a place, which you actually do in Conquest, because you actually go there once, but they don't really completely explain it to Revelations. After you realize that the ending of Conquest doesn't make it seem like she disappeared like in Birthright, it makes it seem like she went back to Vala. If you pay attention to it.
Maybe. I don't know. There were some things that I think, like, I thought they were going to explain, but they didn't. Actually, considering the amount of... I don't want to call it filler chapters, but the amount of chapters in Revelations where we just screwed around and killed things. Even in, like, the second half.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of wondering, like, yeah.
Alright, the other thing I want to mention. Okay, so everyone's saying Azura and Corrin are cousins. But the thing is, okay, so if you play the Hidden Truths DLC, it basically shows that, Corrin's father is, what was? Anankos is Anankos. Is like the good part of Anankos that split off from the super evil version. And then got the characters from Awakening to come over. And, but they never explain who Azura's father is. Now, Anankos' good side has blue hair. Azura has blue hair. They have different mothers. There's nothing to suggest that they have different fathers. Which means there's nothing to say that they may or may not be half-brother and half-sister.
I can't remember the details, because, I mean, there was a lot of things in the Hidden Truths DLC that, I mean, I guess we can talk about that at a later point, too. But, yeah, there was just a lot of things... Yeah, with the Hidden Truths. I mean, there was parts I liked, but then there was parts that, like, yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay, so, when it comes to other things, yeah, it's just some stuff I really wish they explained in the actual, like, main campaign that really should have.
Alright,
but,
well,
like...
One thing I have to commend them for about the Hidden Truths DLC?
What?
You will never know. Do you remember that ending subtitle that just, like, ripped your heart?
Yeah, I mean, somewhat. Here's the other thing, though, is that Lilith, even after that, though, I don't know, maybe I'm just heartless. I was like, okay.
Well, they didn't really flesh out her character. I mean, she appeared, like, in the beginning, and that was it.
I'll be honest, almost everything involving, like, the weird parallel worlds, with the exception of Vala, I think Vala was handled fine enough. Everything else, extra dimension, was just, what? With that game.
Like what?
Like, it's like, okay, she just conveniently teleports you to a castle thing that exists only for gameplay, that was created by the Astral Dragons. Who are the Astral Dragons? We don't know who the Astral Dragons are, but apparently they exist and give her powers. She's here, and then there's also Baby Realms that we explained in, like, literally two sentences saying, hey, it's wartime, so they put these in this pocket dimensions. How did they find out what the pocket dimensions are? What are the pocket dimensions? How do they exist? How do they get to them? Where did the portals come from? Never explained, never told to us. It just kind of happens.
If any game needed a sequel to explain everything, it'd be Fates.
It's technically... I mean... God... No, that... okay. I mean, I'll be honest. Overall, I mean, there were a lot of things in this game that, like, I was not expecting to show up, that did show up, that probably shouldn't have shown up like that. Again, everything about the children, and a few things about Lilith. So, another thing I found out is the person who wrote, the first two routes, because the third route was Revelations written by someone else. the person who wrote the first 2 routes, he wrote Birthright first, and then he did Conquest, which to me makes a lot of sense in terms of plot flow.
Mm-hmm.
And some events.
And gameplay scaling.
Because, okay, so for example, way at the end when Lilith died in Birthright, that was freaking sad. Like, no, What's-His-Face tried to attack me and it happened, because it surprised me. I went and I played Conquest, and it was just some random freaking faceless that, like, came out of nowhere, and it did it, and, like...
it seems like they just did that for the sake of having Lilith die again.
Yeah. That was actually a lot of my problem with Conquest plot. There were a lot of just deaths for the sake of deaths. Even Ryoma, I was just kind of there, like, I already know what's happening.
Come on.
No,
Ryoma
it was awesome, but think about it.
I mean, he committed senpaku with a lightning sword.
But you saw his death coming. It had to happen.
Okay, yeah, because in Birthright, the older brother and younger sister died.
Yeah.
And in Conquest, you know at least one of them had to die.
Yeah. No. So, I mean... It might be less surprising for people playing Conquest. I mean, there were, like, a lot of moments in, like, Conquest that, like... this is the disappointing thing about Conquest. That, so, in theory, you would think it would be darker, and it is technically...
Are you forgetting what happened to Scarlet in Conquest?
Okay. You know, though, I mean, it did shock me, but I still don't think it had enough balls.
They could have gone further with that.
Like...
They want to keep that teen rating.
Like, yeah, no. Because, like, it's, like, almost had balls, but it didn't.
Like, if they had shown anything... Like, I played The Witcher 3, the kind of stuff that happens in these types of time periods.
Like just I don't know, like, I mean, they showed, What's-His-Face killing random people. I mean, I don't know. Well, it was...
Yeah, but it's not exactly...
But then again,
arms cut off and dismembered.
But then again, they killed off a little girl in the other route. Elise. I mean, they called her an adult, but
yeah, but there wasn't any blood.
But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Like, I mean, no, that was literally way sadder than any scene in Conquest.
I know.
That was so sad.
Like, there was nothing that could top that.
No, not even in Revelations, really. That was so sad. I was like, oh, God. And then it was like her hugging in, like, Revelations, and I was like, okay, I could take this scene in many ways, but the first thing on my mind is going like, oh yeah, you died in the other route. Hello.
Yep. So, do you have any specific characters you want to talk about?
We could talk about Corin. Okay. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I guess that there were a lot of characters I liked and a lot of... Okay, can we talk about the Kaze bullcrap?
Kaze. Oh yeah, A support in order to save him.
Fudge that
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. He died.
Oh yeah. No, if you actually A support, it's like that conversation he had where he confesses to you. Instead, he does it in a support conversation. And I guess because he does that, instead of him confessing, he notices, like... I don't know. It was bullcrud. That was like the thing is, though, overall, again, I felt Birthright had a much, like, it was less memorable overall. I mean, it was less unique, I should say. Like, but I feel it was better structured.
I think you have a problem with Cosby so much is because you put work into him.
A little bit, yeah.
Imagine how pissed off he would be if for like that in between mission in Revelations where you had Scarlet, you had trained her. Imagine how pissed off you'd be.
I'm wondering if you could save her. I'm saying that because, as weird as that sounds, the reason I say that is because, again, how in the credits it says, oh, she fell in this one chapter. It usually only says that for people that you effed up with. Like in the credits thing.
Maybe. You could Google it.
Maybe. Because, yeah, they did that for me with Kaze. No, so there was that. God, there was so many things. So, okay, Corin. I liked him in Birthright, somewhat. I mean, he was your avatar character. Pretty much everything he said would be kind of things you would
Yeah, but I kind of felt like okay, so Birthright is basically your avatar.
Yeah.
Conquest is his own character, but he's not necessarily a hero.
Yeah.
And Revelations, he's a hero in the Fire Emblem traditional sense, like Ike and Roy and all that.
That actually kind of makes a lot of sense. God. So, I mean, again, that's just inherently a thing with this kind of plot. Again, it reminds me of Fate Stay in that way. Mm-hmm. Is that, you know, when you have these different paths, of course, you know, you would have a different kind of character who would make these kinds of decisions. It's just, this is the thing, again, that, like, he's the one, I would feel that Conquest Corrin, I will admit, is the one who kind of shoots the seriousness of Conquest in the foot in most scenes where it would be darker and sadder.
What do you mean?
Oh, and the fact that he, like, just somehow magically doesn't kill anyone and just, like, manages to, like, do a, you know, it...
Okay, so... Another problem I had with the game, did you ever feel like the, voices took you out at certain points? Like, you were into the moment, and then all of a sudden, Corrin blurts out, "I'm ready," or something like that.
That was kind of a problem with Awakening at times, too, though, I felt.
I didn't notice it in Awakening. Then again, I haven't played Awakening in a while. So.
I think Awakening also had a lot more noise clips.
Yeah.
So maybe
back to the characters.
Maybe it just tuned out like white noise or something.
Probably. No, I got used to it after a while, but it was a problem in the beginning.
Yeah, though, Corrin and Conquest, though, I mean, so, okay, one thing that, like, so, Azura reveals that Garen is, like, secretly a slime monster. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. I mean, we've seen morphs in older Fire Emblem games. That's what he pretty much is. Okay. That's fine. But she reveals it through, like, this crystal ball thing, right? Even though she just explained it, and he just went to, like, this parallel world thingy, so he probably would believe anything she would say regardless. What's to stop her from just telling him, hey, take this, show it to Leo? Because Leo did say in Birthright, he said that he looked in something that I think Azura gave him.
Well, didn't the crystal ball break?
But that was upon looking at it. She could have just said, "Here, take this, show it to him. Don't look at it."
Well, yeah, they could probably explain it away by saying, "Oh, because it's something from Vala."
But they looked at it after leaving the portal.
They did?
I'm pretty sure.
No, they looked at it before they jumped back into the night.
But that doesn't change the fact that Leo looked at it in the Birthright route. If you pay attention to one of the dialogue, it was the chapter where they killed the wizard dude in that route. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Iago or whatever.
You're saying Leo looked?
Yeah. Like, no, he kind of said, like, let's leave him. And he's, like, going, Father's just a shell of who he was anyway, especially after I looked at that thing. It's kind of something like what he said. Mm-hmm. So, I
remember there was a specific reason for that. I don't remember.
I don't think they did. But maybe I might be wrong. But, that was kind of a weird scene. And then Leap in Logic was kind of going like, okay, well, how about we just, let's help him take over the world so that he'll just sit on this throne. Which, by the way, no guarantee that he's going to want to actually sit on the throne. He could totally just sit back on his own thing and just, I don't know, give the Hoshido province to, like, Xander or something.
Yeah, well, I think, that is a plot hole. But I think, like, I mean, you saw how loyal the brothers and sisters were in Birthright.
No, I'm not saying per se I'm saying that they're just trusting that slaughtering your own friends and family just to get your dad to maybe sit on a chair. Maybe sit on a chair. You don't think that's a little bit stupid?
It is. But I'm saying, like, from the perspective of Corrin, it would possibly be like, oh, the only way I'm going to keep my Norian brothers and sisters on my side because of how loyal they are to him is to show them.
I mean, yeah, I mean, so no, I mean,
and as far as everything was concerned, was there really any other way to get him to reveal the slime monster form, especially to anyone but Corrin who knew?
I mean, maybe they could have gotten some situation where, like, so say, you know, Azra, you know, she almost made it happen in that one situation, so maybe in some other thing she starts singing the song and makes it happen in another situation. I mean, there's a different way you could write it to make it work, I think. But, I mean, they had to give you some reason to make you want to take over the world without your character being an a-hole, even though he's still kind of... He's just an ignorant... if anything I have to say about Conquest Corrin is that he's just, he's just a hypocritical, ignorant, kind of stupid dipwad who doesn't know what he... But, that said, it was interesting. It was something I hadn't seen before. That would be a thing for Conquest, for intrigue in seeing how a what-if scenario would play out. I would not consider it, like, a very good standalone story in Fire Emblem whatsoever.
What about Revelations? Because, what do you think about Arete, Queen Arete?
I mean,
they really develop her that much.
In that route, no. But they did talk about her before in, like, Birthright and other stuff. I thought it was cool that we actually got to see her. And I thought seeing, like, you know, the dead people being revived was interesting.
That was freaky at some points, though.
Yeah. No.
Like, especially Scarlet.
Oh, just running into her in that one battle. Yeah. You know what that made me curious about? But I know that probably wouldn't happen. But if that was a thing, that would be trippy.
What?
If, when you're playing Revelations, that would make it best game ever. If like
dead characters
if you were doing permadeath and your dead characters fight against you, that would have been be, oh my gosh.
Oh, that would have been the best idea ever.
Man, heck, even bring back all of the bosses or like all of the other people that you would have killed. Iago brought back evil.
No,
that would have been.
No, that would have been better. That would have been a better story structure.
Yeah.
First half of the game, you spend it fighting, killing all the people you did, the bad guys throughout Birthright and Conquest.
Yeah.
And then second half of the game, in Vala, they all come back to kick your ass.
Yeah.
Along with any characters that died outside of Vala.
Yeah, yeah. You know, with, of course, you know, maybe... Yeah, no, that would have been crazy.
Along with any characters that died outside of Vala.
Yeah, that would have been... But, I mean, what we got was okay.
It was still good.
I will say, there were a few things that, like, it kind of got a little bit old after a while. There were, like, a few things that I was kind of like...
I'm pretty sure they repeated a map in there somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, but... Gosh, there was, like... when it comes to the... Like, brought back to life people, there was the... Oh, yeah, there was your dad. That...
Sumeragi.
Yeah.
But he wasn't Corrin's father.
My only problem with that is we never... Well, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
We never met him. So, I mean, it didn't have as much impact as you would think it would.
Well, they can't reveal who he is in, like, the first 6 chapters.
Oh, I know. No, I'm just saying that, I mean, like, you... Yeah. The other thing that I thought was weird, that I noticed in his inventory, this was just a random thing that, like, had, like, you know, gears turning in my head a little bit, just, like, trying to figure out why. This was not a plot... I mean, this was like both a plot and a gameplay thing that happened with that one. In the character portrait, when he shows up, wait, why did the mom get a CG cutscene of her showing up, but the dad didn't? You would think that would be, like, a more shocking
Might be the one
thing.
that thought Sumeragi looked like a French guy.
A little bit. Actually, yeah, he looked different than I thought he was going to look. I thought he was going to look just like Ryoma or something from the back. But whatever. So, no, when it showed him, he's holding Ganglari, the sword that, like, you used in, like, the first 6 chapters. But then when you fight him, he uses, like, the Hogu friggin' whatever sword. But he has the Ganglari in his inventory, but it is weaker than the other sword, and you don't even get the Ganglari for beating him. So what's the point of him having the Ganglari, aside from it being in...
Consistency, I guess?
I don't know. I mean, I guess he was the one who... I mean, that's kind of dark, is that he was the specific one that was used to assassinate the queen.
Alright, so what have we talked about that we haven't talked about before?
This got dark. This has gotten complicated. Okay. Final Boss was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, let's talk about the other two first, the other endgames first, and then we'll talk about that one.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about the endgames, and then.
Okay.
Do you want to? All right, after we talk about the endgames, do you want to talk about the incest or whatever?
Well, I guess we could talk about that right away.
Those implications.
I'll be honest. That's existed in Fire Emblem before.
But you've never had the ability to choose. Because I literally basically made it so it's like.
I mean, like, okay, in Awakening in Japan, it was a thing. Like, you could pair Lucina and Owain. Yeah.
Really?
But and you can still do it, but they like make it like a life partner thing or something. I don't know.
It's
yeah.
Because
yeah.
I mean, even considering all the plot details that reveal in Revelations, they're still cousins.
Yeah, no. So I mean, it's been a thing in Fire Emblem for a very long time. But I want to say this as a defense thing, not saying it's a good thing, like morally. I'm just saying this is trying to emulate medieval times.
Yeah.
And that was a thing in medieval times.
Yeah.
Is it a good thing or bad thing? No, it makes it more authentic, I guess. So I personally am not against it being in it. It's just there.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the endgames then. Birthright endgame?
Birthright endgame. It was probably, again, my usual problem with a lot of endgame things. Crap ton of enemies, and the final boss itself not
powerful.
Not being too powerful. But he was powerful enough that, like, when I fought him, I mean, I totally cheesed that my first time.
What do you mean?
It was so funny. I got, like, to a point where, like, the last character I can move to, like, attack him was Corrin, and he had no chance to kill him unless he got, like, you know, the dragon thing.
Dragon Fang.
Dragon Fang. And I got 2 Dragon Fangs in a row. Because otherwise someone would have died.
Have you seen that secondary Dragon Fang animation that happens?
It's when you get like a crit when you get a Dragon Fang, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because you can do that.
Yeah, no, there's a different animation.
Yeah. So that was cool. But no, that chapter, I mean, that one was frick. Like I remember that was the first time. By the time I got to it in Conquest, I think I just.
So that was really good music, though.
That was the music in the end games are great. I want to say that
I think Conquest had the worst end game music out of the 3, though.
No, it's the same, just different lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness, my only problem with Revelations is its theme song. Like we never got to like really hear, so like I couldn't like sing along with it when I heard it the first time in the end game because of the synth and stuff. Yeah. I mean that's just a personal thing. It's not an actual flaw.
Yeah, but as far as Garen is the final boss in Birthright, I mean,
he was
turned into a dragon.
Okay, this was a plot hole to me personally.
Like, why would he turn into a dragon?
Okay, why did he turn into that and that? But then when we fight him in Conquest, he doesn't.
Maybe Anankos gave him more power near the end there because he thought he was gonna die.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, and then Takumi comes out of nowhere and
Betrayal.
Betrayal. Like, that was an interesting twist, and the chapter itself was hard, but it wasn't like a super climactic final boss. It was just kind of like putting down old Yeller because he's gone, because he's got the rabies
it's like,
or
man,
something.
You finally defeated that like big slime monster. Dang it, we still need one chapter? Throw Takumi at him.
No, I meant as in, like, it's kind of like all of a sudden it's like, I mean, it's maybe emotional, but it's kind of like one of the situations where it's like, going, oh yeah, no, you, at the end of a movie or something, like a dog movie or something, and then it's like, oh, your dog got rabies and now it's
I think that mission was kind of less built as an end game and more built as like a transition into Revelations.
Maybe. Okay, that's actually another plot hole. Talking me. Why did he go crazy in Revelations? He did in the other 2 routes.
In Revelations?
Yeah.
Well, in the other 2 routes.
Yeah, he did in Birthright. He got calmed down with the song.
Yeah.
In Conquest, you know, he went full crazy.
Maybe because Corrin... Okay, no, it makes sense. Because Corrin was interacting with Takumi in more of an antagonistic sense. So Anankos wanted to take control of him because he's got power?
But here's the thing. He doesn't do it in Revelations.
Well, you don't necessarily go straight after Takumi in that.
But you don't. But he's your best, like, one of your best buddies in Birthright.
That's because it's less of a betrayal and more of a desertion in Revelations. If you think about it.
But, okay. So the first one, how does that make any sense on a scale of making the guy upset? If you're on his side and everything's going to be happy, he should logically be fine. But then...
Okay. Think about it this way. Norian scum! Okay? Which do you think is going to affect him more? His brother that he wants to... His brother joining Norian scum? Or just running away? Joining Norian scum.
Okay, between the two there, what you're not getting of what I'm saying is, like... Okay, so Birthright, he still goes crazy, though.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah. Well, that's because Anankos is trying to use him against you.
But what's stopping Anankos from doing that in Revelations?
He already has Gunter.
I mean, like... That was also...
Don't you understand how these ancient gods work? They can only have one traitor at a time.
It's so ridiculous. I can't even... Okay,
we're finding out plot holes just as we're talking about it.
Oh, good lord. So... Oh god, I'm just trying to get a headache. Just trying to think about some of these. So, gosh, Conquest and Birthright. Like, I mean, we're just trying to explain the overall plot a little bit, guys, but, like, it just, like, it's so many things that, I mean, now that I'm actually talking about it, I'm like, yeah, there's some problems. Like, I mean, it...
Alright, so what did you think? So, yeah, the end game of Conquest, then.
Hard as frig, but you know what?
I mean, I basically just rushed all the way down to Takumi and just prayed my units would be enough to...
Yeah, actually, fun fact, you know, thankfully she just, for plot reasons, had to disappear anyway. The only person who got killed, and I derped, was Azura. But she didn't die.
She retired because she's integral to the story.
So she, like, retreated. She's like, okay, I can't handle fighting anymore, so I'll just hide in the background, or so is, like, what she said. Because she's, like, you know, actually tied to the story. That's always been a thing in some Fire Emblem games. It just means you can't use them for the rest. But because it was endgame, I was like, close enough!
It's like, she's not dead. We don't have to worry.
Actually, the stupid thing is I had Bifrost, but, like, what happened is I effed up and I put someone in someone's attack range, and so I was like, frig it, everyone flood Takumi!
It's like, we're near the end here. If you're gonna die, at least die fighting the biggest... die fighting the end game.
Yeah, I totally could have used Bifrost and just brought her back. I messed up. Gosh. So, yeah.
So, Revelations Endgame.
Was amazing. Like, okay, legit,
Gunter betraying you.
This was the funny thing that just sums up Revelations, though. I had so much trouble with the other two endgames, right? Like, I had a lot of trouble. They took the longest out of, like, any of the chapters that I did. I wrote down, like, a sheet of paper with a ton of notes for Conquest Endgame. Because I was just like, okay, these guys move this turn, these guys move this turn, this thing. I was like, I need to be down here by turn 4 so I can then be able to take out the... So, I had to do that crud because, again, I had to factor in that stuff. So, when I did, this just sums up Revelations as a whole. Because of my group, Chapter 27, no, I did this endgame on my first try.
Seriously?
No one died.
Wow.
Like, legit.
I ended up with, like, most of my characters dead, and the only one left were Ryu and Selkie.
Yeah, no. I won.
And Selkie.
Yeah, I won on my first time. But I did, do, like, a little bit. I did look up a little bit, just because I just was like, endgame, I'm probably gonna end up doing this anyway, aren't I?
Yeah.
So I just kind of looked at some stuff, and, I did see that, some people use, like, Brave Sword. That was all I looked at. Okay? I was like, so I equipped a Brave Sword to Ryoma. And because he had the Brave Sword, he was, like, doing 4 with his crit rate.
Still. Dang.
And so, yeah. I mean, he was taking some damage, but I was able to do it. I had, like, I think I had 2 Fortifies.
So Anankos having multiple forms was something I didn't expect.
Yeah, actually.
In the end game, at least. Like, after you beat him, Then he turns into like a giant floating eye orb.
Oh yeah, dude, legit, it was funny. I was playing it, and then over Skype, I like just was going like, yes, and then like he changed form. I was like, what?
This isn't even my final form.
That was amazing. But actually reminded me of Okami a little bit there. Have you ever played that game?
Okami. Yeah, no, I didn't beat it yet.
That's great. Gosh,
it's Legend of Zelda where you played as like a white dog.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. Gosh, though. No, so it was great. So I did that chapter on my first try.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit stressful,
but
man, that was just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I liked how whenever you attack the hands, instead of like just zooming towards your character and the hand actually zoomed out.
Oh man, I just
show
love
him
how it's
looking
just
at
an
you.
upward angle, just like how big the thing is,
and that that CG transformation scene.
Yeah. I mean, the CG in general in that game was really good, so I was kind of like, yeah. Gosh, though. Anonko's in general had a very interesting design to me, at least, like, especially his first form.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting design. And overall, man, that was cool. Garen, I feel that was a kind of anticlimactic way for him to go for it to be the final route.
Well, he was basically the final boss of both routes.
Yeah, I know. Well, almost final boss of Conquest.
Yeah.
But
it's like, hey, what's up? I'll kill these guys for you. Nah, I'm taking the power back.
Nah, it just eats them. It's like, okay, whatever. Bye, Garen. I love you. What? Oh God. No, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things. I will say Revelations was surprisingly happy after the other two routes.
Well, yeah, it's because everyone survived.
Yeah, I mean...
except for Scarlet.
Yeah, I mean, I understood that, but, yeah, gosh. Man.
Like, they didn't let you support Ryoma and Scarlet after they made it seem like they had a thing going, which was weird.
Oh, man. But yeah, no, the pairing of Ryoma and Camilla was just way too good. It was just way too good.
That's what I did in Revelations, and they just kicked, like, so much.
Dude, no, legit, Chapter 27, I think I told you about this. So what I did was, I paired them up, of course, you know, made Camilla move over to, like, a space, like, towards the top right corner. I backed everyone else down, and I switched to Ryoma, and I was, like, going, like, knowing Ryoma, if I just trust RNG and reset enough times, this is going to work. And it happened pretty much, like, on, I think, my second attempt at doing it. And I moved him over, switched to Ryoma, and just let the enemies come to him on the heal tile. And literally, he took out, like, 1/4 of all of the enemies in one turn.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I know. Man, I wish I had gotten the thing I did with the Avatar and Khan on video, because that was amazing. And I deleted that. I deleted that Conquest save file, which pisses me off.
Oh man. Yeah, like I said, I just moved him over to like that tile.
Yeah, I'm redoing Conquest right now, so.
Yeah. God, he just killed everything. Just killed everything. It was so good. Yeah, and again, Takumi is amazeballs too.
Yeah. I mean, he was just super.
Yeah, no, this guy, he tried playing my characters.
Yeah, I street passed with him, and then I just tried attacking his characters, and Takumi just one-shotted like some of my strongest characters.
Dude, your Takumi got killed by my Elise. How does that even happen?
I don't know.
How does that even happen?
Well, I kind of stopped using some of the units. Like there were some times near the end there where I should have grinded, but I didn't because I wanted to beat it and I had limited time. So
I didn't even really grind in Revelations. I just pretty much did the chapters.
Yeah,
it was crazy. No, overall, Revelations was easy. It was good. I liked it, but it was easy. I don't know. think there was like a few chapters I reset on.
Hmm.
Oh god, there was one chapter that like was annoying. It wasn't hard. It was annoying. I did reset on that one because I was so done with it by the end of it.
Which one was it?
It was the one with like the frozen town.
Ice Village?
Yeah. No. The one where like
Snow?
Zola froze over the town.
Oh, you had to just go through the snow?
Yeah. Yeah. God, that was such an annoying chapter.
Yeah, because you didn't know who was going to come after you.
No, I mean, it was easy. You just go and attack. I mean, I was able to adapt. It's just like towards the end. It was just slow because you just could only go like a little bit every turn and.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's a lot of the plot things to talk about. I mean, there's a lot of things I could have talked about, but I really enjoyed it. It was
Yeah, it was probably the best 3DS game I ever played.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, Zelda remakes aren't necessarily 3DS games. They're just...
Yeah. I would say as a game, collectively, and this is collectively, all three, is probably the best Fire Emblem as a game. Collectively.
Yeah, if you want to buy all of them.
Yeah, because...
like $80.
Yeah. Individually... Birthright is above Awakening. All three of these are above Awakening.
Yeah.
Because I think Fire Emblem at this point can just classify as two different pieces. Because like there's story and there's gameplay.
Yeah.
Gameplay wise, Fates is at the top, Awakening is second.
Yeah.
Story wise, Path of Radiance, Fire Emblem 7, then probably Fire Emblem 4? I've never played 4, but from what I've heard, it seems good.
Yeah.
Then under 4 is... I don't know, this is where it's hard. I want to say Radiant Dawn. I mean, I like the story of Radiant Dawn. It also has problems, but it also is a sequel to Path of Radiance.
Yeah.
So if it hit having problems, you know, Path of Radiance. Anyway, I guess... Yeah, I don't know. I would say Fates and Radiant Dawn. I am not sure which one's better. In terms of which one, because I mean,
as far as the best route goes, I'd say Revelations was the best, but you should probably play the other two first in order to fully understand it and enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. For me, so far story wise, bottom of the barrel right now is Sacred Stones.
Sacred Stones isn't really that bad. Oh wait, I already asked that.
Yeah. No. Like I said, it's just dull. It's not like bad. It's just dull.
Yeah.
Shadow Dragon is above it, like just a little bit, but that's the first one.
So, yeah, if you have a 3DS, go play Fire Emblem Fates. It's worth your time.
Yeah. And, as we were just ragging on it for like an hour.
Yeah, I know. Like everything else about this game is great. Like a lot of these are just nitpicks.
Yeah, to some degree. I mean, like it's problems, but I enjoyed the plots overall. Again, be sure to play all of them to enjoy all of it.
The best order for understanding it and enjoying it, I'd say, is Birthright, then Conquest, then Revelations.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, people probably have already either played it or they just were like, "Frig, we're never gonna play it."
Yeah, I feel bad for the person who played Revelations first. Don't do that.
Yeah, no. Again, this is the spoiler section. So at this point, it's like, yeah. We just spoiled the whole game for you guys. Go play!
Yeah, go play it! You ruined everything.
Yeah. So, God. Man, now that I was actually talking about the plot, I was like, I didn't even, realize how flawed this was until I started talking.
Yeah, we figured out plot holes that we didn't know exist.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Okay. Still, good game.
Yep. Good game. Go play it.
Yep. All right. See ya.
Alright, see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.